Welcome, everybody, to Reality After Show's coverage of The Traitors. We had the penultimate episode tonight following everything Traitors right here at Reality After Show. Jonny Fairplay, my co-host, as always. Jonny, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I need to take a step back. We are surrounded by beauty. I mean,
Yes.
this might be the hottest podcast in the history of Reality After Show.
Thanks. That's true, but I actually thought you were talking about that AI generated intro that you made.
Oh, that's all about me.
That was all me. And it wasn't AI.
It was
It was
good. I just thought it was fun. At first, I was like, "Is this a clip of the show?" And then I was like, "Wait, whose hands is that?"
It took me about 30 minutes to make, but thank you for AI generated stuff for sure.
Oh, nice, Bobby. Listen, we call Bobby when we need to get edited.
I have a season 50 promo I'm about to launch tonight too that took me about 8 hours to make yesterday, but it's a little long, but I tell you guys, it's worth watching all the way through.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
As you see right here in the living flesh, former faithful herself, Reilly. Rachel, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I am thinking about this episode tonight.
Are you thinking?
And I'm thinking about it.
Yes.
I love Mara. She's so cute.
We have the lovely Ty Lowry from Destination X once again back with us from her stint in Japan. Ty, how you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm back. I'm happy to be back. I feel like I missed so much, but I'm ready to get into tonight's episode.
Well, if you were paying attention at home, Ty, and we know you were, I think that if anyone was going to get the shield tonight, it was going to be Mora, and I think she was wrong.
She tried. She did her best. Okay, you know what?
She was doing good out there.
She was, and they tricked them because they took away a chair every single time.
What did they think? They think they're just going to spin shit? We'll get to the challenge.
I do want to know that because it's like, bros, you've all watched this show before. Like, what are you thinking?
Well, you know what Mora's tanking, but Mora thinks she's gonna get killed. I'm just like, I don't think so, but we'll see. So
she might. I wouldn't put it past Rob and Eric at this point because he is very strategic.
Smart move.
It's the smartest move for him because then I think, but this is the thing. I think if that move happens, the blame goes on Eric. Eric is revealed. Well, they don't know who's going to be. He doesn't have to say that he's a traitor. He just goes because that's how the last person goes. But then at this the fire, Rob, maybe Jonny, maybe they get rid of Jonny, and then I don't know. We can talk about this at the end, right? I guess
we'll get to the end. I have a guess. I think I know, and I think it's not Mora, but we'll get there. So let's begin where we ended last time. And someone needs to be murdered. Who could it be?
A Jack in the Box.
It's a Jack in the Box. There's no way it's Kristen because if so, all signs point to Eric. It's got to be Natalie Anderson because Natalie Anderson is probably the smartest person left in the house. And it's Kristen.
Yeah. I felt like it was obviously Kristen, and especially when they were doing the lead up at breakfast, they made it more obvious that it was Kristen. I didn't think for a second it wasn't because they were just like, "It's Jonny! Oh my god!" And then it was like Jonny walks in, "Oh my god! It's definitely Kristen and Natalie or whatever." And it's just, I don't know. I felt like this murder was it wasn't calculated. It was very obvious, but I guess it makes sense because Kristen was maybe a little bit onto them. I don't know.
She's the smartest. I think Kristen was smart enough to rally others. I think Kristen had the brains and the "we believe you" ness that others are lacking. And I think in that way, I think there was a lot of overacting this episode, like some scenes more than others.
Yeah.
As pointed out, Rob was not. He was a bad actor today. When Alan rang the bell at the end of the episode and they did the dramatic thing from their room, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, this is painful. Like, especially like
Yeah.
more is just like, I don't have time for this. This is fucking stupid. I'm just gonna fucking do my nails. And it's just like, can you do this? It's like, no, I think I'm gonna do my nail. And then it's just like,
Yeah.
Listen, I love the campiness of that, though. I love the
yes.
overdramatic part of that. But my thing is like they obviously know they're not something is different. So I wish instead of the like scenes where they're like doing their nails waiting, I wish it was more like they were being overly dramatic about it. Like just like get at the real emotions. Cause they were probably freaking out. Like if I
Yeah.
was in the castle and they're like, you're not going back tonight yet
Yeah.
because you're like, what's happening?
What was happening?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you're like freaking out that way. So I think they could have leaned into that. But I mean, I think this was a great, I didn't hate it.
Rachel,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed to say anything or not, but it's been a while since you've been on the show. We all know like the traitors and faithful, they all stay at a hotel. But
Right.
do they have you individually like go into a room and play this part of doing it? Like, is there multiple rooms? Is it just one room?
No,
Like, how does
there's
that
so
work?
many rooms because it is a real castle. So it's an actual castle. People can stay there and like weddings are happening there and like, so it's like a real working castle. We do go into our own rooms. So they have rooms. I used to notice they would put us in different rooms. And I think I've heard since they have been better at that. But I would always be like the back of the castle is the murder room because there was this one or two rooms in the back of the castle because you had to go up this special like staircase to get to them that was more secluded. And I always thought that those were the rooms that when you were on trial you were going into. But since then, I've heard that that's not true because I guess people go into those rooms. There's one room that's like this gorgeous giant room that overlooks the whole entire courtyard, and it has this beautiful bathroom. I mean, the bathroom's the whole size of the room too.
Oh, Kate's bathtub?
Yes, Kate's bathtub scene. Yes, yes, yes. And it's just such a beautiful bathroom. It's insane. Then there's this other
I
bath. So
heard
then
your
there's this
bathrooms. Kate told me your bathroom sucked, of course,
Of course,
because
she said that. But no, they switch rooms. So every time we switch rooms, but then like there was another room that was just as nice. And the bathroom was just as nice. It just didn't overlook the whole courtyard. It was like a different view. But the bathroom in that one was God. I remember the shower was like the size of a bedroom. It was insane. So like
Wow.
yeah, they're very, very nice. And then they have one room for wardrobe. They have a room for like our snacks. We can go in and get like extra snacks. So it's a full thing. So they do put us in our own rooms. So every morning before when we arrive, we go straight to our room. And then every night, like you have to go to your room or they'll like call us out like, okay, everybody, it's like so and so's leaving. You guys are all on ice. So they start putting us in our rooms at that time too.
Hmm. Ty, what
Yeah.
was your thoughts on Kristen being the one taken out by the traitors?
It made me nervous for Eric. I
Yeah.
thought that it was going to
Yeah.
put a lot of heat immediately on Eric. So my thinking was, Eric, he was starting to act weird, getting too quiet, and maybe that would make him feel better, just having her taken out. And for Rob, it's like, it's still a win for Rob because
No.
if people are suspecting Eric, they're not looking at Rob. So he's like, hey, let's murder her. Fine, we'll do it. But starting off the episode, I was like, I don't know if Eric's going to make it because if they
Yeah.
pick up on that and they latch onto that, he's not working well under pressure.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
thought he was going to end up being banished.
Well, that's
well,
what we
Ty,
thought. I
Ty,
thought that
there's
too. And then he did.
Ty, there's no worries for Eric because if you do make the Kristen kill, as long as Eric talks at the round table, everything's fine. So we're good. Oh wait,
But he's not talking.
But I thought
I'm not saying anything. It's like Eric, you have to talk. Oh yeah,
But
that was
that's-
the one thing I needed to do. Talk. It's like yeah.
So scared.
But that
He's
was
so
what-
nervous.
But that was what made me think he wasn't acting as nervous because I was like, wait, I thought he was going to totally have a meltdown and lose his mind. But he kept it together and he was like, he didn't talk as much, which was probably smart with this group of the faithfuls. Because look, we got how many words did Mark Ballas say? We like haven't seen him all season and now it's like the Mark show. You know what I mean?
There's no one named Mark on this season.
Well, but today there was. This episode.
I do think that too. When I'm watching this, I'm watching, just like you said, Ty, I'm wondering how the heat doesn't go on to Eric, because, you know, Mark was privy to that conversation, but also ahead of that, just the fact that he was quiet the last roundtable, now he's quiet this roundtable. I understand that he was a little bit more vocal early on, especially with the whole magic ears kind of thing, but he has been reserved ever since that moment that he did get, you know, the wrong person out. And I wonder if he's never fully recovered from that. And now he has this added pressure of, oh, now I'm a traitor, so I have to hide. But do I also hide and not talk and let other people talk and let them make targets of themselves? I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but you have to have some kind of vocal input in the conversation to let people know that you are relevant to the conversation.
Yeah,
exactly. And especially when Kristen, when she was suspecting him in the episode before, it was because he was getting even more quiet.
Yeah.
So I expected him to be a little bit more vocal to kind of, you know, counterbalance that a little bit. But no, he just did the Eric.
I'm guessing.
I mean, but he's quiet the whole episode from what we can see, right? So it wasn't. It's almost like if he spoke up at the wrong time, I felt like it would have been too much. Plus, we have that whole challenge before he wins the shield, so there's really no reason for him to like go at it too much. You know what I mean?
Well, I think his plan at the round table, just spitballing and guessing here, I think his plan was going to be, hey, I have guessed so wrong. I have personally sent home faithfuls because I fucked up with my magic ears and everything else, that I cannot live with throwing out another bad name and it being on me. And that's literally Tara's pitch. And he was like, well, fuck, I can't say. It's like, oh, yeah, what Tara said. It's like, well, that doesn't, you can't say, I'm just going to say what Tara said. So it's just like, okay, I got
but they
to say.
also didn't need to say much because Tara and Natalie end up going at each other, right? Like,
oh yeah,
that was like bonkers. So to me, Natalie was a little bit too. I thought Natalie was too outspoken, not just this episode, but just like in general. I think it was like she, in my opinion, needed to lay back and not accuse Rob so much to his face, especially because she thought for sure he was a traitor at this point. So it's almost like, yeah, but you can't go directly at a traitor like that. You need to really be careful, like it's saying it to other people when the traitors won't find out. Because of that, I think that's what did her in. And because he heard about it, he saw it, she said to his face, and then of course he's gonna have to go after her, you know?
Yeah.
Did you hear the rumor and innuendo that the Black Banquet was a lot more physical than what we saw, and that's why Alan was pitching it so hard? Like, this is the craziest thing you'll ever see, and then like Bobby is like, I thought it was, you know, because I loved, you know, the jam of it all. But Bobby he felt it wasn't.
Oh, like did he get pulled off more or something? Like pulled out of his chair more, like something like that?
No. Supposedly
Yeah.
Tara Lipinski tackles Natalie Anderson to the ground.
Okay, there's no way.
That is the very heavily rumored rumor and innuendo, and they don't want to show that going into the Olympics.
Okay, that makes sense. But also, if that did happen, I felt like wouldn't their relationship have been a little more tarnished than it has been?
I don't think it's a great relationship.
No, I don't think it's a great relationship either. But like, if someone tackled me, I wouldn't even talk
case in
to
point
them.
tonight.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, we'll never know, right? We'll never know the truth.
Well, I think the Olympics are done this Sunday. So Olympics are over. Next week is the finale and reunion special. I think we get the extended clip at the reunion special.
We might get some more clips at the reunion special.
Apparently, we got Lisa goes full throttle.
Okay, so the rumors are that Lisa goes like into it. with everyone basically because she was just so done with it. Yam Yam and her get a huge fight. Apparently, I think Natalie gets in a yelling match with someone. I don't know who, but apparently it's a very heated finale or like reunion, I guess.
Good.
I can't wait.
I have been let down by a lot of these reunions.
Really? I thought they'd been good.
Yeah. Because I wanted you and Kate to have more stuff and like.
Well, she was pregnant. She came back. This is the thing.
I
Our
know,
reunion was
but-
so many months
oh.
after our show, and she came back and she's pregnant.
Rob R unfollowed Candace after the reunion.
I saw that.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah.
Well, he ain't hurting for followers. I'll tell you that. Jeez Louise.
He's
Oh
over
my
there.
God.
I'm assuming he's over there counting his money during the reunion. Doesn't care because I feel like he's winning it all at this point. Like it just feels like it's the Rob show. Like tonight was the most. If there was any time he was going to get taken out, it was tonight.
We'll get to our predictions because I think there's one of two way it goes, and I think he's good too.
Okay, so let's get into the actual challenge. Oh, actually, there's one more thing I want to bring up. Rachel, let me know your opinion on this. We do see the first two people that walk in are Rob and your favorite I Tink lady of all time. She immediately starts to question him and be like, "Oh, you couldn't be a traitor, right? Like that would break my heart. Like if that happened, I would die." We see a lot of talk of that. Does that not feel like a hidden innuendo into the finale night? Like that reveal is going to be
It did feel
crucial.
like, I felt like a lot of that's what I'm saying. I feel like they keep like showing us in the edit what's happening and like they're giving us these little Easter eggs. And that definitely stood out to me. Also, she didn't just do it then, she stuck up for him throughout the whole episode. And I noticed like she was the only one that was vocal about defending him. So I think that again, that is a little Easter egg for us to see how she is gonna continue that and be a little bit upset. But like they keep saying, it's a game, and it is a game. Like I said, season 1, but season 1, I was not allowed to say that.
She seemed awfully happy that was just the two of them going into breakfast first. So she was like, "Oh, I mean, maybe it could just be like this forever."
Well, there's all the rumors.
Well, I think that the rumors were that they didn't actually hook up. That was the rumor that they did hook up, but they never actually did. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens at the reunion. I would be
I feel like he could have if he wanted to.
Really?
Agreed.
I think you could have.
Maybe she would be willing. Maybe, but like also that's like he would.
He could have hooked up with Michael Rappaport if he wanted.
I mean anybody in the castle.
Allegedly, Rob C is the only guy, but I'm just like, do you need to talk about your feelings because it's 2026. It's fine, Rob. Relax.
All right, so let's get to the actual challenge because I think that's where we get a lot of the start of the episode really starting to amp up, which I think it was a very good episode. Okay, I just have to say this. As a longtime Big Brother fan, and Rachel, you're obviously a Big Brother legend, did this not feel like an exact ripoff of some Big Brother game that we've seen at some point in our lives? Because, like, I know it's not a 1-for-1, but this felt like a Big Brother game written in stone.
That's funny. I didn't get that vibe at all because it felt like my carnival that I went to season 1. And I don't know if you remember that we did a full carnival like that season 1. And they went upside down. So it felt like that. Yes. And then season 2 carnival they did was the silly maze where they had to memorize the maze or whatever.
Yeah, the balloons.
So I think they've been doing carnivals every season. The Big Brother of it all would be taking away the chair or the spinning, right?
Yeah.
Spinning around. But like I still got the vibe of like the silly carnival kind of like roller coaster type thing.
Yeah. You take away the creepiness of the carnival, it's Big Brother.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So I mean, it's just like you're gonna spin around and then growl.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. That's true.
What
we do that a lot in Big Brother. They do like to spin us around.
I was thinking about this earlier too when I was watching the episode. And one thing, if there's a small dynamic, and maybe people aren't for this, and maybe this isn't made for this game, but one dynamic I wish they would change is I wish you could find some kind of immunity or shield for the actual round table. I wish that you could protect yourself, because how much drama would it bring if, like, say Natalie Anderson
get
tonight
banished.
Found something where she couldn't get
like
banned.
an idol. Yeah. That will,
like
I bet that is going to be I bet that will be some sort of twist they do in the future, because I think they're introducing us to new twists every season. I feel like they kind of just keep bringing things in. So there's going to have to be some sort of banishment twist that will eventually come into play. Because, that's the only thing we have left. It's like, you can only do so many traitor twists. It's got to be a banishment twist.
Yeah, Ty, what is your thoughts on the challenge? And do you agree? Do you think that there should be some kind of like banishment protection at some point? It doesn't have to be the whole game, but every once in a while, it'd be nice to see someone, be saved and now these people have to scramble to find someone else to gang up on to take out of the game.
Absolutely. I think it would add a little bit more kind of like depth and strategy in the game, because a lot of times especially when the numbers are getting smaller, they go in having this plan. The traders have their plan and who they hope is going to get banished and where the group is going. And then imagine if someone goes into this challenge and they're like, oh, I'm safe tonight. And then maybe that gives that person more confidence to speak, a little more freely at the table, knowing that they can't get votes, at least not at the table. So welcome that type of change. And as far as like the challenge goes, it's okay for me. Like, they didn't even really seem that dizzy when they were running
they
off
didn't
of
seem
the
that
carousel.
dizzy.
So
or have medical conditions that don't allow them to be dizzy.
Yeah, so the level of difficulty, I'm not sure if that was really there. I feel like the hardest part was really like ripping open the stuffed animals, because I'm thinking like, I've been wearing nails and I just have like a weak grip. Like, I don't know if I would be able to do that. I would be like Maura, needing Natalie as somebody strong to help me. So I feel like that was the hardest part, honestly, was probably like ripping open these, stuffed animals and trying to get the money out. But to me, the challenge was like, it was so. I did like the twist that they took the chairs away and they didn't tell them until after they got started.
Yes. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, but as I said, you just have to, like, I would have ruined that twist. They would have been like, okay, like, are you guys going to like take away a chair each time?
You're a gamer, Johnny. you know how it goes.
Yeah, no, I'm literally there. And peek behind the curtain, they give us the game rules for all these challenges, and no one ever reads them. So Omarosa would pretend to sometimes, but you're just like, but like I guarantee it's in there. They take away a chair each time. So like if you actually read, like, hey, they take away a chair each time. It says right here on the thing.
I don't think we had game rules to read.
So with on House of Villains, we had someone from the network, we had a lawyer, and they said the game rules to an extent, and then they're like, there may be more. Everything is written out. So, and they would film us reading them. They would film the person saying as much as they were required to say, and then they would film us signing them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, same on Destination X. They had copies of us saying that we understand the rules and this is what we're going to play.
Rules?
Yep. Well, I was just like, I got it.
No, nobody reads the rules. So like
no.
They gave it to you in writing.
The only time I was pissed off was the challenge that I won. That was a twist where I didn't win. I was just like, did he say? And I'm just like, why didn't I read these rules? Because like I had decided, I'm like, I'm winning this challenge. Like when I was like, I want to win challenge 4 and I want to win, I just had it in my mind. I'm just like, why would you not read the fucking rules on the one fucking challenge that you want to win, you moron? So, but I did not read, but Omaro's like, oh yeah, I heard him. And he said yes. And I'm like, are you positive? She's like, yes, Fairplay, I'm positive. And then I was like, she goes, oh, I guess I wasn't. I'm like, thanks, Omarosa.
Yeah, Rachel, did you ever get like the rules on Big Brother like before each competition, or do they just go over it with you?
Yeah,
no,
Survivor
every show you always get rules, but like
but not written.
Not written. I've never gotten written rules ever.
Yeah, I didn't
on
on
any
Survivor.
show, and I've done 1,000 shows.
Yeah, House of Villains did that, and apparently Destination. But yeah, apparently Traitors is old school, brother. They don't
Yeah. We did like it was. Here are the rules. Let's break, and then you would get they would tell you the rules. Do you have any questions? I ask 7,000 questions that are annoying that nobody even thinks of, and then everyone gets mad at me and just stares at me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to make sure we win this challenge, guys.
All right.
But
So I
at
have a
this
question.
point, also, does anyone care? Again, are we caring about these freaking challenges and Traitors?
No.
No. Yeah, they are phoned in big time.
No, and then to come down to season 4, I don't know that. I think even moving forward, like I enjoy it as a viewer watching them, and they are fun to see like the dynamic. But as a player, like if you already know it doesn't matter, they really just don't matter unless you're getting a shield.
For me, the challenges mean nothing because one, I don't give a shit about the amount of money, right? It's like, oh, someone made $750 with the prize pot. I don't care. That's like nothing in realistic money. And even then, when they're saying, "Oh, we're playing for 30,000 in this competition," cool. Like that doesn't matter to me as a viewer at home. Even the prize pot, I think, is far too low for a game of this magnitude with this much publicity. And I've said that, I'll take that to my grave, that I still think it should be $1 million. Like, why is it like 250,000? That makes no sense. And then secondly, the other thing too is the challenges are literally just above the challenges for Love Island, in my opinion, where the challenges for Love Island will always be the bottom barrel challenges because they're not challenges. All it is makeout competition.
And everyone wins.
Touch whoever you
winner.
want. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I hate it with a passion. And Traitors is just above that. I mean, it's a good length above it, but it's right there.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's like you get the money, but then it's like it doesn't matter at all because you might not be at the end.
Yeah.
So for me, growing up, going to the carnival every year, like I used to go to my local fair. Was always a big deal here. In the South, fairs are huge. And then there's the state fair. Like I'd go to the North Carolina State Fair, the Virginia State Fair, all those things. And my favorite ride of all time was the Tilt-A-Whirl, which is basically you go around, tubs of fun or whatever, So I have an 18-year-old daughter and I have an 8-year-old daughter. And I believe it was when my 18-year-old daughter was 8, I realized, oh, wow, I am officially old and all I want to do is throw up. And so I'm sitting there watching. I was just like, I would want to throw up. But apparently you can just raise your hand and say you have a medical condition, and then you don't have to spin around. And then you can just walk over and not be dizzy and rip apart a stuffed animal.
But what I mean, they have to like allow you to not if you have a medical condition, right? It's not like, you know what I mean?
Well, okay. If I get dizzy and nauseous, is that a medical condition? Because I feel like what is Eric and Tara Lipinski, who literally spins for a living like Johnny Weir? What is her medical condition?
I mean, I feel like I don't hate that they couldn't do the spinning either, because again, at the end of the day, like this competition doesn't really none of these competitions really matter that much to the end goal, because you still have to get to the end. You still have to get through banishments, murders. The whole point of these competitions is to see how people interact. And if you're paying attention, you would have seen that, like Natalie noticed, Rob got really upset. He lost the shield immediately, right? Like that was a red flag to her. And he did overact. He did. Like,
he did.
What was he doing? Like, who cares, Rob? Like, you lost the shield. Like, okay, like, be like, man, I didn't get the shield. It's like, whatever.
Well, I think if you're Rob, you do the follow-up conversation when you get back to the house that production's probably not going to use. Hey, these fucking housewives got $400,000 just for showing up. They make them. I didn't. I was on Love Island. I am hoping this changes my life. spoiler, it does change his life. I don't know about winning or not. It doesn't matter. This dude has won by being on the Traitors. So, but he could just say, dude, banking $700 versus banking $2,500. I would like to win this show, and the difference between $2,500 and $700 to me means something.
Yeah, no, I get that, and he could have said that and not had to overact.
Yeah, no, that has been his biggest flaw yet, and nothing else even comes close. So, and it might be, as I said, if he can go back and explain it, it's just like, dude, I just really want and need the money. Like, I'm not fucking rich.
I mean, for sure, but he like was like hands in his like face, in his knees, like about to cry kind of deal. Like, Rob,
it was a bit much. Yeah,
I'm down.
I have a slightly different take. I didn't really see it as overacting. I guess I was putting myself a bit in his shoes, and like as someone who's super competitive and they look at Rob as someone who's going to win these challenges or at least perform really good at these challenges, and he thinks he has it in the bag, and then to be surprised with like they took a chair out, like dang, I would have ran faster, I would have performed differently had I
was
known
helping
that.
People.
Yeah, and then that exchange he was having with Mark, like he was frustrated. I mean, the head and the hands and like all that stuff. I was like, okay. But that initial response, I was like, he's blown. I would be blown too. Like, damn, I would have done things differently had I known there weren't going to be the same amount of chairs.
Yeah, and if Natalie Anderson is the first one to come back to no chair, you don't think she's throwing a fucking fit?
Oh no, she would have been really upset. She would have, for
we would have
sure.
seen it. Yep.
But like Natalie's also a faithful, and I think that's like, you know what I mean? Part of the reason why she would have been so upset, because she is a faithful. Whereas Rob clearly overacting made him seem like he was overacting as a traitor would overact. I don't know. I felt like he seemed more upset than I did when I lost the mastermind twist. Like it was.
Jeez.
I don't know. I don't know about that, Rachel.
Not from what we read that was happening behind the scenes.
Rachel, I don't know if anyone in America watching the live feeds and watching that season was as mad as you, because we were more mad than you, is what I should say.
Yeah.
Like, we were angry. And you should have seen, I think that's the most people I've ever had in my live stream all at once, was when I immediately went live after that. Like, people were pissed. And I was like, this is great content for me. Thank you, Rachel. I love you. I wish you would have won, but thank you.
Yeah.
And no one gave a fuck that Rob didn't get the $2,500 bag watching at home.
No,
it's just like, man, that's bullshit. Rob didn't get the $2,500 bag. Oh my god!
Did the bag still go in the pot if you didn't get in the chair in time? Or were they?
That was what they were. That was the other thing they were saying. Like, why did Natalie with her $750 go in instead of Rob with his $2,500? So that was the other thing that he started saying. And then I was like, okay, just shut up, Rob. Like, at this point, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to just like not keep it up. Like, just, it's done, move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did he not get called out more for that, though? Because like we saw a little bit of it. We saw him and Mark get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, he never got any kind of heat where he's never gone for a shield ever. Like, he's never cared. He's never had anything. And now all of a sudden this guy cares about a shield. Like,
right,
where
exactly.
They're under his spell. They're under Rob's spell.
But his pitch wasn't the shield. The pitch was, I was trying to get as much money as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the other thing, though. He also hasn't cared about getting as much money as possible either. You know what I mean? It was like, I don't know. I thought he overacted, but whatever. It doesn't matter, because then Rob comes back to the castle, and you know, all of a sudden the heat's on Natalie and not Rob anymore.
Yeah. So what were your guys' thoughts on that? Because I was very interested to see where we see, you know, Tara Lipinski really pitching, hey, Natalie, I'm with you. I totally am on your side. I think that you're.
I will totally have your back in the round table. I will lead, middle, and finish it. Get ready. Hold my beer.
She was very adamant that she was like, we had to go after Rob. Like, us three, we have the votes. She's even in there counting the votes with Natalie, trying to figure out, do they have the numbers even with Rob's dagger? And what happens, it just blows our mind. We'll get to that. But what did you guys think of, Tara really coming out of her shell and trying to press hard onto Rob? Ty, let's start with you.
I mean, I like seeing it from Tara. Like I said, she started to wake up and play the game. And even though she's been very wrong and she's felt bad about it in the past, like I appreciated seeing her come forth with more confidence and trying to build this allyship with Natalie and say, "Oh, I had an epiphany last night. I had a dream. It's not you. It has to be Rob." And I liked seeing Tara, having these conversations with Natalie and other people, and her being able to be persuasive to get other people on board. And I'm thinking, oh, she's playing the game now. Welcome to Traitors, Tara. And I like seeing that from her. So later to see her retract when it was at the round table, I'm like, oh my gosh, now she's flip-flopping. Like, what is this girl doing? And ultimately, I think it boiled down to the dagger and not having enough votes. And maybe that's where she lost her confidence. And then Natalie was defending herself, too. And I think there was like some personal feelings in there because they just voted for each other ultimately.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, there was definitely personal feelings. But then I thought they were going to have girl power moments, stick together, go for Rob. And then as soon as I felt like I saw at the end of that conversation, it like felt like a drop. And I was like, oh no, this isn't actually going to happen.
Yeah. Well, and Tara gives us the warning. She was just like,
yeah,
I'm very confident. I think we're all good. Potentially we have the numbers if everything goes according to plan. However, I might just not say anything at the round. And I'm like, oh no.
Exactly. That's the drop.
It was like, so in case you're anticipating anything, she literally just gave you the warning that nothing is going to happen.
Well, also we had Natalie in confessional kind of counting the votes for us, right? She's like, okay, so I got Johnny, Weir, and Tara and me. That's 3. And then it's Rob, Mara, and I forget who the third one is that he said. Oh, the dagger. The dagger. So then that's 3 and 3. Okay, so now we just have Eric and Mark in the middle. And as soon as she said that, I was like, it's done. Like, you're not getting Eric. She doesn't
we're
know
watching
that,
at home.
And Mark's been with them the whole time.
Yeah, it's bro code.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
So like this dagger thing, the fact that he could keep it until this important very last round table is frustrating to me because it's like, I don't know, like it feels like such a big twist. And the fact that he was still able to use it this late in the game with like this little amount of people left, it just made such a big impact,
Yeah, but
it reminded me of like a Survivor idol, and you can't, you can only use it up until what is that, like
five,
I think,
or whatever. Yeah. So no, I mean it was fine, and like it was just so anticlimactic because it was literally a unanimous vote. Right. So I was hoping the dagger would be a, like it's a 1 vote difference because of this dagger, and it wasn't. I mean I think he used the power to make it a unanimous vote. I don't think it was without that power, but it wasn't this is the difference maker. It wasn't like with this, I am winning. Yeah. My alliance is winning by 1 vote.
But I think that's also because in the last episode, Natalie, I forgot the exact context. Remember, she was just like, tell him you have the dagger, tell him you have the dagger. So now it's just all public information. Whereas before it was only that group of 6, the select people knew who had the dagger. But now that everybody knows it, they're, kind of strategizing and accounting for that, especially because this is the last time he can use it. So it did change the dynamics of the game with this roundtable. Absolutely.
Well, and I think also too, now that we're at the final roundtable, we're kind of discussing that openly. I think that obviously we saw Natalie was really hurt in the fact that we just had this great connection, this girl to girl moment where we were going to go after Rob. And now you're not pressing the Rob factor. You're almost putting it back on me. Johnny, you're essentially saying nothing over here and essentially just going with whatever Tara says, which sounds like she's just going with the plan. Why are you not backing me up here? We had this conversation. I felt for her in that moment because I did think that Natalie had a great point. The fact is, hey, we had this moment. We were trying to go for something, and all of a sudden now that's dead. You're not even trying to fight for that. Then why did you start that conversation? On top of that, I thought Natalie, the one part she messed up on was I thought Natalie should have instantly pinned that back on Tara. Be like, you've been saying your name this whole time. Why are you guys voting for me? She's the one who's being shady. Why are we not voting for
Yeah.
her? She should have done that.
This was her plan that she's backing off of because she got me to voice it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think she
Yeah.
messed up without saying what she should have said. It's Tara or Johnny or someone. Like she could have clapped back at them.
Yeah.
But would that have made her look even more guilty? At that point, it didn't matter because she was going home. They'd already decided. So I think it's like, it's you like lose, you know what I mean? It's one of those
It's a
situations where she's
lose-lose.
a
Yeah.
lose-lose, yeah. But
Yeah.
I would have liked to see her get spicy. So that would have been a win for us viewers.
Yeah. So no, Tara's great. I felt like Tara painted a huge bullseye on herself, and I think Rob was literally licking his lips seeing this. But then Natalie's not a traitor; she's a faithful, of course. And then Tara I want to
vote me out, get rid of
leave.
me.
Yeah,
I'm
murder
ready.
me
And it's
tonight.
just like, holy shit balls! It ain't Tara. Tara is not the fucking traitor here.
Yeah.
We can all if you're in that castle and you think Tara's a traitor, you are literally worse than Bad Reed Tom Sandoval.
Yeah. Which is why I think that murdering Tara would also be a good option for them.
I think it's the best option. And you can pin it on Johnny because if anyone's just like, there's no way Johnny's a traitor, and he was like, and you just go, no, it was a mercy kill. She wanted to go. He did it because he loves her.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Can I play devil's advocate though? I hear what you guys are saying, and I don't disagree by any means. But would it also be beneficial to use this opportunity to take the shot at Johnny Weir, where you can kind of do the opposite of what you're saying there and be like, well, Tara just made this huge display that, kill me. I was wrong. I don't even want to play this game anymore. And she takes out her best friend to try to show that it's not her that's a traitor. Can't we believe that she's not doing that? She gaming all of us.
Yeah,
too much.
Yes, but I agree it's too much. And there's not been a male traitor yet. And it's like, there's got to be a dude bro up in that turret. Because you're telling me they didn't pick any, you know what I mean? It's just at this point, I think thinking it was Tara is so silly. Which also, it just blows my mind that the girls weren't like, oh, there's way less girls here. What are we thinking?
Hello.
Hello.
I
think when you're just on that show, you don't really think about who's the actual traitor. You're just you want to just get rid of people. I think that's just what it boils down to.
Do we think that Rob completely just got off scot-free after this is all said and done? After that roundtable, I was worried for him all episode. After that roundtable, yes, he still has a little heat on his shoulders, but not a lot, not compared to what he should have.
What he should have, but I don't know, because there's also a devil's advocate there where because of the fact that Tara lost her mind and now we know it's not Tara, it's okay, it's not Mara, it's not Tara. It's everyone, all signs point to Rob. And
or
is
Eric.
this the time? Well, or Eric, but it's even with Eric, it's is this the time where we're it's obviously Rob? I'm not going to fire with Rob. If I'm a faithful, no, I'm not going to fire with Rob. And I'm going to say that because there's the slightest doubt in my mind. I'm not going to go to fire with Rob. I'm not ever going to let him because there's just the slightest doubt in my mind. So it's I think he's cooked in that sense, but we'll see. I don't know if those faithfuls are thinking about that.
I think it's Mara.
I mean, they might think that.
All he has to do.
But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go to fire with Rob or Eric. If I'm there still, I'm going to say, okay, if I'm Johnny and Tara, I'm okay, I trust you.
You're better than Johnny and Tara, though.
Right, of course. But Mark, if Mark Ballas is in there, and what is he thinking? He might go to fire with both of them. But absolutely, you guys are totally faithful. It's you're right. He might do it.
Yeah.
Mara, I think she's gonna believe Rob. She doesn't want to believe that he's a traitor.
Yeah, Mark is Ivar. He's not. He's an idiot.
Right.
And then Mara is. beyond stunning. But wow,
But I don't think it's that I don't think she's an idiot. I think she just doesn't want to believe it's him. I think she's smart.
I don't think she's
It's
an
just
idiot,
that she doesn't want to believe it's him.
I think she doesn't want to believe it's him, and I think she just kind of stopped playing. Like, when like Tara's losing her mind, she goes, "It's a game. I don't even know how this game works." Like,
Yeah,
she's like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even playing. I haven't played Traitors in 3 weeks. Like, why are you upset?
All right, so let's now get into our predictions for the finale. Who do we think is going to win? Who do we think is going to be there at Fire? Ty, let's start with you. Who is your prediction to win, and how do you think it plays out?
I think Rob wins. I think that, and some of it is just like Rachel was kind of alluding to earlier, certain nuggets that we've been getting, with the edit. We haven't had a traitor win since Sari in season 1. So I think that Rob does win. And because I think Rob wins, I don't think that he murders Maura. I don't think that he murders Mark either. I think he's going to keep the people that believe in him and that will keep him safe at Fire and that are going to believe that he's a faithful. So I think for next week, we're going to see either Tara or Jonny, the ice skater. They already mentioned how they're a voting block. They're a duo. That's already something that's working against him. So I think one of them is going to go. And I think Rob wins it all.
All right, Rachel, what are your thoughts?
Agreed. I think one of the Tara probably goes. Then the boys blame Jonny as the final traitor. He can't reveal that he's a traitor or not. So Eric and Rob try to make it to Fire together. I think there's going to be enough doubts on Eric, and Rob is going to turn it on Eric so he's not in the heat. And then I think that Eric is going to go. And then finally, when it is like Mara, Mark, and Rob, they say, I trust you all. People, that whole speech. And and I think he pulls a Sari out of this hat. We'll see.
Fairplay, your thoughts?
I think Rob R is one of the greatest players to ever play the game of Traitors. I will say that when Rob says to Maura, "We need to get rid of these people," basically acting like he knows he won't get murdered. I was waiting for that moment where Maura's like, "I think it might be him," because like it was literally like, as a traitor, here's who I need gone, and it was just like, sure, like she's literally just lovingly looking at like, whatever you need to say, Rob. Like, yes, it does sound traitorous, but we're not playing traitors, so that's not it. So yes, I would like to go along with your plan to get rid of the other faithfuls that could jeopardize your game as being a traitor. Sounds wonderful. So there is a world in which I believe that Rob is not only one of the greatest traitors to ever play the game, that he's also a good dude, really wants Eric to win with him, and makes it so that Eric does win with him. And I think Eric and Rob win.
All right. And then for my opinion, I completely agree with you guys. I think Rob's the one who's the sole winner, but I think it's a little different. I think we get to the end. We have Eric, we have Mark, and we have Maura. And I think that Rob's not going to be the one to throw the stone into the fire to say that, hey, I think there's a traitor still here. I think it's going to be Mark. I think Mark is very suspicious in this episode of Eric. I think that there's just not going to be a way for him to get him out until the end. And I think once Mark is the one who's responsible for getting Eric out and they say, okay, that was the traitor. We did it. We're the 3 winners. We all know we're faithful. We win. And then they find out Rob's the winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Maura drops dead because apparently that's what she's going to do at breakfast. She dies.
Or she's okay with it and gives him a big hug and a kiss, and they walk off into the sunset like Love Island.
I think we should get married.
Not Love Island.
Yeah.
All right.
Laura's going to pull Rob for a chat after he wins.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Please, can we not talk about Love Island? It's the worst show of all time. I don't get the
He's gonna stand on business, and they're gonna take it to 100.
I love it.
All right, so Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a pleasure to have you here. Also, Big Brother's around the corner. I'm just saying, hey, if you want a podcast again, I'm your guy. But we would love to have you anytime you want to come on. Maybe for Survivor season, we'll have you on again. Would love to have you there. Ty, thank you. As always, good to have you back from Japan. Glad to see you made it back to the States and are joining us for these last couple of episodes. We're going to absolutely enjoy. And Fairplay, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Sure. I'm doing Survivor viewing parties all over the country for the premiere. I'm with Rupert and Rome and Sage and Jawan and Sugar and
oh gosh, where are you guys at in LA?
Todd Herzog. We're in Phoenix, so for that one I'll have First Boot Legends t-shirt. Me and Sugar will be available for that shirt will be available for the premiere in Phoenix, and then me and Richard Hatch are touring the rest of pretty much every single date for the rest of the season. So go to survivortix.com. That is survivortix.com. Really quickly, let's see. Wednesday, starting March 4th. Richard Hatch and I will be in Newport, Rhode Island. And then the next week we're in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then Newport News, Virginia, and then Richmond, Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland for Hatch's birthday. The 22nd of April, we're in Charlotte at Heist Brewery, and then Cincinnati, Ohio for March 29th. All the information can be found at survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. Ty, you're going to be at Hatch's birthday in Baltimore.
Yes, I didn't even know it was his birthday. So you just said it. April
How
8th,
cool
right?
is that?
Yeah, so, have a good time.
So there you go. So that's
my way there too.
April 8th. That's Jimmy's Famous Seafood. So go to survivortix.com, survivortix.com. And of course, me and Hatch have robbed icons. That's right. Your two favorites that were robbed from being on Survivor season 50. I do have a shirt to celebrate our greatness and tragedy. So join us, survivortix.com. And Bobby, what else?
And check out our great Survivor content around the corner next week. I can't believe it's less than a week away from the premiere of Survivor 50. Jonny won't be here. Gabe won't be here, but we will have a special guest on with us for the Survivor 50 premiere immediately following the East Coast airing. I will go live with myself, Wayne Mimit, and our special guest. So definitely check that out. Also, like I said, I have a Survivor 50 promo that I made. I thought about playing at the end here, but I think it's a little too long. So I think I'm going to post it after the fact. So I really hope you guys like it. I hope you enjoy it. It's our little promo for the podcast here with Survivor 50. And then after Survivor 50 is done, Big Brother content, I will be coming back with my live streams. I'll be going live for the episodes, going back with my weekly rotation. So I hope you guys join me for that. And with that being said, guys, we will see you next week for the finale of the Traitors season 4 right here, Reality After Show. We will see you guys then. Bye, guys.